Thanks for joining the Tarot Tips. This is part 3 of our Celtic Cross reading. We're going to jump right in here and start where we left off last time with the 10 cards that we have in our layout here. We've done our overview. We've done our big picture look at the layout, and now we're going to get into the what do the positions mean. So because these 3 cards talk about future energy, when I'm doing the reading, I like to turn them over so that we're just looking at what is the energy that this person is bringing to their life in the present moment. So, card 1 and card 2. I like to think of these not really, well, they are separate entities, but I like to think of whatever happens here in the center as a pairing, that these two are interacting here. This is the hub of the wheel. So what's the relationship between the card which is underneath and the card which sits on top of it? It certainly does make a difference if it were to come up like this. Okay, the cards come up in the layout in a specific way for a reason, and we have to honor that. So we have the 4 of Cups crossed by the Knight of Wands. So what dynamic does this set up? In this particular instance, we've got a Cup card interacting with a fiery card. So we have 2 cards of a different nature here. So this might imply somebody who's charging ahead even though they don't feel particularly confident. So rather than defining this position separate from this position, I like to think of these 2 as, certainly this one is more prominent or prevalent because it's on top rather than underneath, but still we have to consider these as a pair. So the dynamic here being, well, I'm not really quite sure how I feel about things, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. Okay, so I'm just throwing out ideas here. None of this stuff is written in stone. I just want to talk about in general the meanings of the positions and what the particular cards we got in this example might indicate. So what is the core issue? What is the situation where the person finds themselves? That's what's going on here with these 2 cards. Again, paying attention to which card sits on top and how that's important. Although the first card always does set the tone, so there is a little uncertainty here that might be reflected by what we saw up here in the 5 of Pentacles with the 10th card. Okay, moving around to position 3. There's lots of variations of how people interpret this position. I like to think of card 3 as the part of the querent's energy that's activated or engaged in this dynamic in the present time in their life. So a part of their temperament, a part of their personality, a part of who they are. We are often going to see this card having a pro and a con, a helper and a hindrance in terms of how it might be affecting the person's life. We don't put a value judgment on whatever card comes here. Whatever card comes here is intrinsic to who they are. So what part of this person is getting utilized or is impacting this specific thing that's happening for them in their life? In this instance, we would say this person brings confidence. This person brings fire, wands, to this current situation. We're also going to be looking at, here's where the interactions continue. We have a fire card, which is going to support this fire card. So, and we have these 2 people on horses, which does imply a lot of drive and personal will and focus. So even despite this 4 of Cups, which feels a little shaky and maybe uncertain, we've got the Knight of Wands saying, let's just forge ahead. We've got an intrinsic sense of confidence, of connection with others, of desire to connect with community that we see in card 3. So card 3's position is what does the querent bring to the situation? Which part of who they are, we all have very many parts, which part of who they are is playing a part in an important part, significant part, comes up for a reason, in their life right now. Card 4 talks about a recent past, an influence from the recent past. And here we see the cups being reinforced. So what has happened, what has been an experience in the recent past, which is relevant to where I find myself now with this situation, 4 of Cups, Knight of Wands in the center. We see with that card another card of connection, another card of emotional support. We talked about the connection with community here. Here we see it said in a different suit. We see the recent experience of camaraderie, of support from others, of joyful gatherings. Again, the cup issue, or the emotional issue here, being reinforced and supported. So emotional connection with others in the recent past. So all of that feels pretty cohesive, even though we've got a couple of different elements working together there. We go around to the card in the fifth position. This is where the client or the querent might be identified. How are they perceiving their life or their situation? Queen of Wands, this is a person with confidence. We see confident, confident, confident here. You know, to some degree, but then on the other hand, we have this emotional piece, which feels like it could go either way. It feels like this person might be stepping out into an area where they're feeling positive about it, but also might have some doubts. So this what's the identification? What is the conscious awareness in the present moment? Queen of Wands. So you take a moment to kind of recap and take a look at those first 5 cards and get a sense of what's the present moment look like, or feel like, I should say, feel like, for this particular person. When we go to these 2 cards in the linear pattern, we're going to see more a picture of outer life. I'm going to do that with them. The first card down is how people might see the querent. What's the external reality? The next card in position 8 is the environment position. This is what is around this person. This is external to this person, but it impacts them. So traditionally called the environment card. It's either the nature of the situation outside the person, what they're dealing with in the outer world, the tone of what external reality might be presenting to them. So it's interesting to see these 7s out here. There is that sense of something new is trying to happen. There's a lot of activity in the environment with this Chariot card. People forging forward. We see confidence again in the outer life. People bringing confidence to their situations. How is our querent seen? How might their external life be viewed by other people? A lot of times we have to consider this as the lesser reality, because the inner life cards show, let's say, the slice of the person's inner truth or inner situation in the present moment, that this is more an appearance, or how it might appear, how it might seem to others. So 7 of Pentacles, that people might see that this person is weighing their options, a little uncertain. People might be picking up on this 4 of Cups, like, I'm not quite sure what to be doing next. This feels like there is an encouragement that's being lended to this person. A little bit of a nudge here to kind of, even though we see the black and the white, the the pro and the con. Well, it's going to be hard, but it could be fun, or you're going to have to struggle, but it'll be worth it. Whatever the duality or the ambiguity that this person is working with, feels like people are in support and encouraging the efforts here. So the outer life picture has a similar sense of drive and accomplishment to what's going on with the inner life. That's something to pay attention to. Is the outer life a true reflection of what's going on internally for this person? Do we see, sometimes we see something very different out here, especially with this card about how we might appear. It isn't always important that people see or know what's going on with us, so it's not uncommon to see something a little bit different out here. Let's continue the what's ahead in the fourth tip. Thanks for joining the Tarot Tips, and we'll see you next time.